Lagi mong sinisiguradong patas. Lagi mong inuuna kung anong dapat. Hindi mo kayang malunok ang katotohanang marami pa rin tayong kababayang gutom at walang tahanan. Kaya hindi ka tumigil sa paglaban. Harapin ang kahirapan. Tulungan ang nangangailangan. Basagin ang korupsyon na kanilang nakasanayan. Sa loob at labas, man ng Pinas, bakas na bakas ang iyong tapang puksain ang mga problema ng bansa. Gamit ang lakas, gamit ang isip, gamit ang puso. Kung para sa mamamayang Pilipino, si MP, wala yang sinisino. Manny Pacquiao.
Valoria goes left. Valoria flips it up and in! Sir Orlan Mamar, but Mamar gets the step and the finish. Hail Mary. June Manzo will fire. Oh my goodness! June Manzo all the way from Serrano, Bebuelo, Serrano with the basket. Fuentes, no hesitation, gets it to go. No! Obisto, yeah! Jason Obisto with the putback!
The Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League returns for a third time this season at the Pasay Astrodome, and we have another triple header for you this Tuesday, and Greg Cunanan will look to steady the ship para dito sa Quezon City Galleries Taipan, and they will go up against the Quezon Huskers. Judel Fuentes was the lone bright spot in their loss against Pasay, and both of these teams trying to get back into the win column. Quezon City will go up against Quezon Huskers in their first game, followed by Manila Batang Quiapo. They will square off against the Zamboanga Sikat and the Sarangani Gripper. Mga kalaban, itong Pasay Voyagers at home. Magandang hapon po mga kaliga. Ken Pangilinan alongside Javi Palanya. Javi, no, itong Quezon, they had a similar situation last year. Natalo sila sa Pasay, and then the following game, natalo sila doon. So they're facing a tricky situation going up against Quezon City.
Yeah, ayaw nila maulit yung history dito sa game na to. No? Quezon City is also hungry for a victory dahil nga galing rin sila sa talo. And this Quezon City team has no pushover. No? It has some serviceable players in guys like ito si Nino Ibanez and J.K. Casino, who are former Quezon Huskers. So they have more motivation to do even better in this game.
Yan, no, yung mga storylines na dapat natin abangan. But of course, you could watch us live on our official Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on Solar Sports every Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. onwards. Ngayon, introduce natin, Avi, ang ating third member for panel. We have Lyra Punsalan, who has a report on both Quezon City and Quezon. Lyra?
Karen, Javi, totoo nga na iba ang intuition ng isang coach. If you remember in their last game, nagpakatotoo si Coach Eric Gonzalez na natatakot daw siyang makaharap ang mga Pasay Voyagers given that they were already able to defeat them in the last season, and that was indeed justified with a game score of 81-83, resulting to the Quezon Huskers' first defeat in the season. It was a humbling moment daw para kay Coach Eric, proving that there are still a lot of improvements para sa mga Huskers. Meanwhile, Quezon City is hungry for a victory now because they already suffered from 3 losses in their past games. They're putting their trust on their system now more than ever, hopeful that they're going to be able to put up a good fight para sa mga Huskers. Back to you guys.
So tignan natin sino makakabawi between these two squads. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin, Javi, no, yung laro ng Quezon City in their last game, because pero of course, nung last game day natin, this was yesterday, nakita natin Muntinlupa still winning their first 3 games, and then we finally saw the debut of Pasig and Bacolod, and then ito, no, Abra making a statement against Rizal.
Yeah, statement it was against the Rizal Golden Coolers. Itong Abra Weavers showed everybody that they are really a force to reckon with here in this league, especially with a mix of veterans and young guns. David Defonso and company put on the Jets in that game. Talagang pinagmukha nilang mababa ang Rizal Golden Cougars sa kanilang home court, and that was really a very humbling experience para sa kanila. I'm sure that's something that they can learn from moving forward itong Rizal.
Actually, that was pretty much a blowout yung naging laban ng Abra kontra sa Pasay. Ngayon, yung South Division standings natin, nag-iisa na lang po yung walang talo dyan. Muntinlupa 3-0. We saw Rizal lost yesterday. Quezon din natalo last week, Javi.
But of course, the real tests come in the following games para sa Muntinlupa Cagers. They went up against teams at the bottom of our team standings. Itong Rizal and Quezon, medyo matindi na yung nakalaban nila at the start of this year. So, this still has more changes to come itong ating mga team standings as we progress later in the season. A lot more surprises are sure to happen. Dito rin sa Norte, ganun din. Pero ang diferensya, ang Nueva Ecija, they're very dominant on top. 6-0, but the Abra Weavers not far behind at 5-1. Pangasinan is also showing a lot of strength at that third position. They're tied with Abra at that 5-1 record. So, itong Norte, it continues to be the more competitive division dito sa ating liga, but syempre sa South hindi rin naman magpapatalo ang mga kupunan natin dyan.
And to your point, Javi, the number 1 and number 7 ranked teams in the North Division separated by only 2 games. So pag-usapan natin itong Quezon City, no, in their last game, and na-mention na rin ni Lyra, no, they have dropped 3 of their last 4 games, including this one against the Ilagan Isabela Cowboys. This was a match, Javi, where they were leading at the end of the first quarter, pero bumawi dito yung Cowboys in the second quarter and nahirapan sila ma-recover dito.
Correct. Ang ginawa ni Coach Louis dyan, talaga he gave a lot of playing time to his veteran players sa kanyang mga best decision makers. Kasi alam niya itong Quezon City, they're hungry for a victory, especially they're coming off a loss also coming into that game. If you see here the numbers, halos magkadikit lang naman in terms of field goal shooting. Sa 3 points, they were just a -3. But it was really on the rebounding end na natalo sila. They were a -6 in the rebounding department and a -14 in offensive rebounds. Those 23 offensive rebounds led to 21 second chance points for the Ilagan Isabela Cowboys, which made it hard for Quezon City. Kahit na nung fourth quarter, they tried to make a comeback and they were able to trim down the lead to 4.
And this is a young squad under Coach Jeff Perlas, and they will take on a very experienced Quezon Huskers squad na uhaw bumawi sa kanilang unang pagkatalo this season, and it came at the expense of a familiar foe, the Pasay Voyagers, and Pasay just breaking out all the stops here in the fourth quarter, Javi.
Well, halos snippet back lang naman to majority of the game. But itong Quezon, they were able to get a good first half, but it was in the second half na talagang umarangkada dito ang Pasay Voyagers. Lawrence Victoria was able to lead Pasay to a very balanced attack in the second half. Walang nagawa ang Quezon Huskers because Lawrence was playmaking not just for himself but for his teammates. If you look at the numbers here, they were impeccable as usual from the outside, talking about the Huskers, but they gave Pasay 32 free throw attempts, which the Voyagers had 20 conversions from that area. Those 17 turnovers also were a big hit to the cause of the Quezon Huskers in that game because Pasay was able to capitalize on these. So errors para dito sa Quezon, yan ang kailangan nila bawasan because it's been a problem the past few games.
Alright, it's Quezon City versus Quezon. Let's turn you over to Richard Tampos for our starting lineups.
Yaos MPBL Season 7. Join me in welcoming for the starting lineups. Let's begin with the Quezon City Calories Taipan. At forward number 0, Jason Strait. Also at forward number 20, Jerome Santos. Guard number 15, Nino Ibanez. Coming in at center number 12, Dave Bernabe. And at point guard number 8, Prince Diaz. Quezon City is led by Martin Go with Jeff Perlas, assisted by JC Docto and Ricky Reyes, the team manager JC Tan. Starting for Quezon Huskers. At forward number 93, Vince Magbuhos. To guard number 8, Christian Pagaran. Playing center number 5, Simon Sandagon. Point guard number 13, LJ Gonzalez. And at forward number 77, Gab Banal. The head coach is Eric Gonzalez, assisted by Richie Tixon, Ash Rosella, Ed De La Torre, Luis Nolasco, Jonathan De Guzman, Bernard De Guia, and Jeric Teng. The team manager, attorney Don Capuna, and the team owners,
Alright,
Governor
Quezon City
Don
versus Quezon in the first game of our Tuesday triple header. Our starting 5 brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Sa panig ni Coach Jeff Perlas and Quezon City, the backcourt of Franz Diaz and Nino Ibanez. Up front, Dave Bernabe, Jason Strait, and Jerome Santos. For Quezon and Coach Eric Gonzalez, LJ Gonzalez, Christian Pagaran, Simon Sandagon, Vince Magbuhos, and Gab Panal. 2-3 Quezon City versus the 5-1 Quezon Huskers. The tip going to the guys in white, the Quezon City Gallery Taipan. Franz Diaz playing the most minutes para dito sa Quezon City.
But to nobody's surprise, because ito si Franz Diaz has played for Coach Jeff Perlas when he was at CEU, and we all know that in that time with the Scorpions, Franz Diaz was the heart and soul of that team. One of the most vital cog in them winning a championship 2 years ago.
Oh, the tip in is good from Christian Pagaran.
Pagaran earning the starting nod in today's game after up and down minutes in terms of playing time the past few games. Coach Eric Gonzalez deciding to experiment here after that loss to the Pasay Voyagers, their first of the season.
Jason Strait, nilabas papunta kay Franz Diaz. That was sent away by LJ Gonzalez.
Just a little slow on the setup there as Franz Diaz tried to step into that shot. Habol na habol yun ni LJ Gonzalez.
Jason Strait, that was LJ Gonzalez getting the steal off that handoff and gets clipped by Franz Diaz.
LJ Gonzalez is coming off an ankle injury just a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. But within that time frame, a few weeks ago, he hurt his ankle in their home game at the Quezon Convention Center. But there seems to be no sign of him decelerating or using less of his athleticism. Makikita mo talagang kondisyon na kondisyon siya ngayon.
Yeah. Although he was plagued by foul trouble in their last game against Pasay, only played 14 minutes, incurred 4 fouls, only had 2 points. Split from the charity stripe, makes it a 3-2 ball game para dito sa Quezon. Nino Ibanez. Binigay kay Jason Strait. Tira galing sa tres, wala. Bola mapupunta kay LJ Gonzalez.
Quezon City with their 4-out offense, but forced it to an outside shot once again. Jason Strait, but Gabanal able to knock that down. By the way, congratulations, newly engaged ito si Gabanal.
Oh yeah, and welcome sight as well, hitting his first three for Quezon, 6-2.
Iba rin siguro talaga yung magic ng bagong proposal, no?
Medyo nakakakilig naman ako kahit pa ba.
Yun na nga. Ako kasi hindi.
Meanwhile, ito sa loob pumunta ang Quezon City. Ball will stay on their side but only 3 seconds on their shot clock. You'll get there soon, Javi, as this 3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances. Gab Banal, kaya ng binanggit mo, newly engaged and certainly engaged in this ball game. They have an early 6-2 lead with 8 minutes and 11 seconds left in the quarter number 1.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, si Manny. Kanipaya. Para sa 100% Pinas, 50 ka.
50 tayo! 50 si MD! Hati mo, si Manny!
Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. So far, no, maganda panimula dito ng Quezon. They lead 6-2.
Well, they also had a good start in their last game against the Pasay Voyagers. They led by 7 after the first 5 minutes of that game.
Pero dumikit, no? At the half, parang isa na lang yung lamang nila. And Pasay eventually chipped away at the lead and took over in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was a grind-out game for both teams in that match. But Quezon still actually had a chance until the very last moment. Ooh,
Nino is busted up here.
that's blood on his lower lip.
He was tagged hard there by Christian Pagaran.
Inadvertent hit naman. Just a pity because I'm sure Nino was really looking forward to this game. Usually that's the attitude of a lot of players, especially in the professional ranks. When you go up against your former team, there's more motivation for you to do even better than the regular.
Some players really thrive in that kind of setting, as we see Franz Diaz miss on that floater. Christian Pagaran scoring his 4th point.
One of their off-season acquisitions. He fits in nicely to the system of Coach Eric Gonzalez. He's athletic. He has good height for the guard spot. Can play either wing position as well. And can finish excellently on the break, as you saw.
As per the game, brought to you by Extreme Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme magpalamig, free installation for split-type air conditioners. 2 minutes gone by here in the first quarter. And Quezon City having trouble generating offense here.
Well, the Huskers are really being physical with them on the defensive end, pressuring really hard, making it difficult para dito sa QC to even get into their set.
Ball will stay with Quezon with 15 on their shot clock. And last season nga, no, Pasay din yung tumalo sa kanila, pero slightly different setting because they were on the midst of a 16 game unbeaten run. Dinalo sila ng Pasay, and then the following game, natalo sila against Mindoro, who during that time was really struggling under Coach Jer Kawaling. So ito yung gusto nilang iwasang heading in against Quezon City. Greg Cunanan coming off the bench. Franz Diaz, quick free, yes!
I tried to go for a shot from almost the same area earlier, pero nasupalbalsa ni LJ Gonzalez. Really got to that shot.
Gabanal. That triple pops out. The reverse by Pagaran, wala pa din.
He was looking for a foul. He thought he was hit by either Franz Diaz or itong si Dave Bernabe.
Diaz again. He's been really taking those shots and now hits his second three.
Aside from the confidence that we already know he has, it's also the comfort of Diaz playing with a lot of his former teammates and of course playing under his former head coach in college, Jeff Perlas. So I'm not really surprised, but I am equally as impressed still with Franz Diaz because he continues to amaze me by the composure that he brings to the table already here in the professional ranks, and still behaving like he was when he was with the Scorpions.
Wasn't really known as an accurate three-point shooter in his collegiate days.
Correct, yeah, that's right.
Vince Magbuhos, bubukol sa tres, pasok yan.
Well, there's a known outside shooter. Vince Magbuhos has been acquired by Quezon for that sole purpose, to be an additional floor stretcher para sa kanilang kupunan, to add more variety to their front court rotation. That looks like an offensive foul on an illegal screen by Dave Bernabe.
Jeff Perlas, which I believe is his first stint as a head coach in the professional ranks.
Correct, yes.
Yung tres galing kay Vince Magbuhos, who played for Nueva Ecija last season. LJ almost lost his footing. Napunta kay Gab Banal. The drop off inside. Sandagon gets fouled.
Well, that has been the evolution of Gab Banal later into his career. Of course, we know that Gab, a former MVP here in the league and a bona fide scorer, that time could have taken the shot but decided to set up his teammate Simon Sandagon.
This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Simon Sandagon played for Far Eastern University. Gets the second free throw to drop. And Francis Tamsi will come in. Papalitan niya muna si Christian Pagaran. So 12-8, 4-point lead for the Huskers. Under 6 minutes remaining here in the first period. Cunanan. Oh, great look. Jason Strait getting into position and scores underneath.
quite a nice matchup there with Straight getting guarded by Simon Sandagon. Both long and athletic players.
Manal. Jason Straight switching on him. They go to the post. Magbuhos laban kay Bernabe. Gonzalez having trouble and he got caught stepping on the baseline.
That's nice communication on the part of Quezon City. You see here though on that past offensive by the white shirts, Kunanan setting up. Ito si Jason Straight underneath. That last defensive possession, very impressed with the way they were able to communicate on the two-man game of the Huskers, leaving LJ Gonzalez little room to operate.
Approaching the halfway point of the first quarter, Greg Kunanan going right at Alfrancis Tamsi, draws a foul.
The smaller player taking it to a taller defender.
Greg Kunanan played for LPU. I'm not sure if nag-abot sila ni Coach Jeff dun, no?
Yes, I think they did though. Kaya siya kinuha dito. You can see that most of these players that Coach Jeff has in his roster right now with Quezon City are majority his former players.
Mga CEU boys, Dave Bernabe, Franz Diaz, Jason Puray.
Yes.
And Kunanan ties the ball game up at 12 apiece.
Jerome Santos as well.
Yeah. Magbuhos. Swing pass, open free from Gab Banal. Does not work. Bola mapupunta sa panig ng Quezon City.
Kasi syempre maintindihan mo naman ng ang vision ni Coach Jeff. You know, it's his first time coaching in the professional ranks. So syempre you would want to have a team na hindi mo na masyadong tuturuan pa ng sistema mo. You want a team that has your former players, a lot of your former players, para konti na lang yung teaching period and yung adjustment.
Franz Diaz has certainly thrived in Coach Jeff's system, and that continues. Gets the bounce on that tough move.
8 points down in the game para kay Franz Diaz. Quezon City in the lead by 2 points.
Tabaini trying to carve out space and will be whistled with an offensive foul.
If there's one thing I'd like about Dave Bernabe when he was in college, one thing that really impressed me the most was his ability to hold his own against the foreign student athletes that he went up against. Hindi rin biro yung mga kalaban niya. That's why he packs a lot of experience in trying to shackle itong si Joseph Gabayni ng Quezon na parang import rin naman talaga gumalaw.
And ngayon, sa professional ranks, nagbubunga na, no? Yung countless times that he has faced against much bigger opposition, foreign student athletes that you mentioned, Javi.
Because obviously defense is not just all about strength, especially when you're inside, you're guarding big men. The misconception of a lot of people is kung malakas ka, kayang-kaya mo na yan. But it's also about being intelligent and smart. Yung paggugulang nga because that really helps. You don't want to waste a lot of energy and expend it on trying to overpower yung binabantayan mo. Siyempre, especially if you are an important piece of the rotation, you want to be able to conserve your energy for the entire time that you're needed on the floor.
Here he is receiving the pass. Gets it to Greg Kunanan. 10 seconds on their shot clock. Kunanan open free. Bounces out. Abundo is in for Quezon. Also a former CEU standout, Alvin Abundo. Drives right. That pass off target. Bola babalik sa panig ng Quezon City.
Well, Quezon really has a tendency, pag nagpapalit sila ng 5, na nag-iiba yung laro. Sometimes they start off really strong and then biglang pag nagpalit na ng 5, mag-iiba yung takbo ng opensa, medyo matamlay, yung depensa are gonna lag down a bit. I think that's what we're seeing right now. I'm sure the Quezon Huskers should be wary of that right now because Quezon City looks like it's on a good groove offensively and defensively.
Nakaaga ulit itong Quezon. Abundo, malakas yung kanyang tres. Fuentes, binalik kay Alvin Abundo against Greg Kunanan. Gets to the paint. Joseph Gabayni gets bumped. Basket and one for Joseph Gabayni.
Napaganda pa yun para kay Joseph Gabayni. Kung di siya binanggalo ni Dave Bernabe, I think that would have been a traveling violation pa laban kay Gabayni.
Was able to retain his pivot foot there. Joseph Gabayni. Also an off-season acquisition. Meanwhile, let's get a report from Lyra Punsalan.
Nino Ibanez is back to the benches now after being hit by Christian Pagaran of Quezon Huskers. Duguan ng labi ni Ibanez and he now needs to rest for a bit after that clash. For Quezon City, it's going back to the basics now. And Rai De La Rosa mentioned earlier that the pressures of being a young team is something that they're still working on. Coach Jeff's reminder to rediscover their passion and thirst ng mga college days nila is pretty impactful daw for their team. Of course, with the ability to bounce back today at ngayon, it's coupled by the goal of personal responsibility to handle the ball well. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. And Coach Jeff has always been known as a coach who has held his players accountable. And, you know, learning under different coaches. Nagsimula siya kay Coach Eric Altamirano and then went on to be part of Coach Topex Robinson's staff. And ngayon, he has his own team dito ngayon in the professional ranks in Quezon City.
Yeah, I think for me, long time coming na rin tong opportunity para kay Coach Jeff Perlas. He definitely deserves this time to be the head coach here at this level. And I'm sure he has garnered a lot of experience to be able to develop the attributes into being a successful head coach at this level.
Quezon Huskers, abante ng 1 puntos dito. Under 3 minutes remaining, Judel Fuentes coming off a 21-point outing against the Pasay Voyagers. Alfrancis Tamsi. Abundo. 5 seconds on their shot clock. Fuentes, tough shot! Making look easy there with a triple.
Well, wala ka na magagawa doon if you're Quezon City. You did everything you could on that possession. You were able to keep it step. Got to challenge that shot by Judel Fuentes. He's just a really superb shot maker.
Jeff Avillonar against Jason Opiso. 6 seconds sa kanilang shot clock. Avillonar.
Yes, that's the right call. It's a flop.
Jojo Belnas on top of it. So Jason Opiso will be called for a technical foul. So let's see this. Ito yung tres galing kay Judel Fuentes. Just a bona fide score para dito sa Quezon Huskers.
I'm sure nang laki rin yung mata ni Judel na former teammate niya bumabantay sa kanya.
So, our referee sorting things out here. Dahil mukhang merong coach's challenge requested by the Quezon Huskers. 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining here in quarter number 1. So, they beg to disagree doon sa flopping call na tinawag laban dito kay Jason Opiso. So, we'll pause for a break. We'll be back for the result of the challenge.
Challenge of the Quezon Huskers was unsuccessful.
Bigo sila Coach Eric doon sa kanilang challenge. So technical foul talaga ang tinawag kay Jason Opiso for taking that last foul call.
Yeah, kasi tingnan mo dito. There was a hit, but I believe at least from what I saw in the live view, dito kasi sa replay parang hirap sabihin eh. Tsaka medyo iba yung angle eh. I hope that mapakita rin natin yung reverse angle, pero I think that it will be too late for that. But anyway, when I was looking at it earlier, bago pa bumangga, pababa na siya eh.
Ina-anticipate niya eh. Pero yun nga eh, basta kay Jojo Belnas di lulusot yan.
Mismo. Always very sharp.
2 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter. That jumper is short. Ball ends up with Jodel Fuentes against Ray De La Rosa. The look inside, Javillonar steals it.
That's just the wrong angle on that pass.
Unanan off that staggered screen. Napunta kay Jeff Javillonar. Another bad pass. Nakuha ngayon ng Quezon. Alfrancis Tamsi steps into a free. Rolls out. Bola babalik sa panig ng Quezon City.
The Taipan Galleries can heave a sigh of relief there. They got a wide open shooter, Francis Tamsi. A look. And Tamsi loves those transition threes. I think in that previous play, Javillonar should have went to the open Ray De La Rosa, who was waiting on the right wing, and now they turn it over.
Opiso has Javillonar to beat, gets it over him. Now Quezon ahead by 5, 20-15. Casino also facing his former squad. Unanan steps back, takes that free, off to the right. Nakuha ni Gabayni yung rebound.
They could not make the defense pay for going under that screen.
40 seconds remaining. Fuentes. Pinunta muna kay Alvin Abundo. Mid-range jumper galing kay Joseph Gabayni. Good looking shot.
That's one of the positive attributes of his game, to be able to hit those short to mid-range jumpers.
About a 5-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Unanan. Whips a pass to JK Casino. Pockets it inside to Sarah Joseph, who can't convert. Still enough time. Jodel Fuentes jacks up a free off the heel, and the first quarter comes to an end. Quezon City led briefly midway here in the quarter, but that strong run to finish the first catapulted Quezon to this lead.
It was a strong start for the Huskers. Christian Pagaran came in, started this game, and tried to make up for that rather bad show against the Pasay Voyagers. She only played almost 2 minutes in that game. And then pagpasok nila Jodel Fuentes, medyo matamlay yung simula, but made up for it because of those outside shots, and now they're up by 7.
22-15, Quezon in front at the end of quarter number 1.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Second quarter about to get underway here between Quezon City and Quezon. Simon Sandagon and Nino Ibanez, former teammates. Franz Diaz had 8 early points in quarter number 1. Coach Eric Gonzalez looking to avoid that same feat that they had last season. Coach Jeff Perlas naman gustong makaahon na itong Quezon City as we begin quarter number 2. Quezon with the basketball. Joshua Yero, floater does not work. Nakuha ni Franz Diaz yung bola para dito sa Quezon City. Tres galing kay Jason Puray. That rolls out in. And our field goal shooting here in the first quarter, nakita natin Quezon shooting 53%. Samantala, 5 out of 13 lang itong Quezon City. Joshua Yero. Abante ang Quezon dito. 22-18. They go inside. Sandagon blows the layup. And now, too strong on that putback.
I'm sure talagang sa isip ni Jeff Avillonar ngayon, buti na lang, mintis yung parehong tira na yun because nahuli talaga siya doon sa pag-rotate back kay Simon Sandagon.
Yero skying high for that defensive rebound. Fuentes, Joshua Yero, JP Sarao, Simon Sandagon, and Christian Pagaran, the 5 on the floor for the Huskers. Foul will be whistled. Looks like it will stay with Quezon.
Already good defense. Again, para dito sa Quezon City, able to challenge well. Ito si Jeff Avillonar, yung tira ni Judel Fuentes. Kaya lang, hindi nila nakuha yung defensive rebound doon. They now ensure Quezon another possession here.
Bernabe switching on Fuentes. Oh, great find underneath. Sandagon, the reverse.
They have to be able to communicate better right there. They have already shown it throughout most of the first quarter, but Simon Sandagon, those past 2 times has been lurking behind the basket. And Avillonar has to be very wary of that, considering how big of a threat Simon is around the rim.
In transition, Pagaran gets pushed on his way up.
That's almost always going to be whistled for a foul.
Our assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Judel Fuentes has proven to us that he's not only a great scorer here in this league, but also a guy who can be relied upon to make the right decision with the basketball, making a good pass on that pass play to Simon Sandagon.
Topeng Lagrama is in for the Huskers. Mintis yung pangalawang free throw. Franz Diaz, Jeff Avillonar, Jason Puray, who takes that free. Too strong. Dave Bernabe and Nino Ibanez.
Well, he was kind of feeling it that time. I thought he should have made another pass and maybe reset it for a bit dahil hindi rin maganda yung pagkatanggap niya ng bola doon. It wasn't in his shot pocket. He rushed it.
Foul against Jeff Avillonar. Trying to battle position against JP Sarao. John Gabriel. Pinasok na dito ni Coach Jeff Perlas. Replacing Dave Bernabe. Almost 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Off the pin down, Pagaran. Swing pass, Joshua Yero. Quick free, way off. Quezon City down by 7. Ibanez. Skip pass to Franz Diaz. Trying to get past Pagaran, met by JP Sarao. Avillonar, top of the key free, no good. And Lagrama will just let the ball sail out. Topeng Lagrama, Tubong Lucena City. Going up against Ibanez. Pagaran. Sarao. No available pass. Opts to get it to Pagaran. Second miss from the outside.
That zone right now here in the second quarter really forcing Quezon into a lot of those outside shots. They're getting decent looks, but not really those wide open shots that they would have wanted better. Quezon City's been doing a good job of staying in front. Kumbaga tapat-tapat lang dun sa zona na yon and just putting a hand up on every attempted shot from the outside.
Franz Diaz, supply yung kanyang tres. Sandagon pulls it, gets it to Topeng Lagrama. High-low play, but Sandagon could not finish.
Sandagon's missed, I think, 3 or 4 already in this game alone from up close. All point-blank misses.
3-point shot, no good. Pagaran gets the rebound for Quezon.
So Quezon City's been scoreless for a while now. Ooh.
Will they count it though?
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna count. He was in the motion of the shot, and I don't think there was any stoppage of his progress as he made his way to the basket. And here's the crossover to the left. Ayun. That arm bar that went from the lower part of his waist until his neck. So definitely gonna be an unsportsmanlike foul on John Gabriel.
Yep. A sportsmanlike foul against John Gabriel.
Unsportsmanlike foul on number 1, John Gabriel. That's his first.
Clearly not going for the basketball. Si John Gabriel. And they're seeing it on the LED wall right now, what happened. So Christian Pagaran, bonus free throw, and they will get the ball back. Itong Quezon Huskers.
This could be possibly a 5 or 6 point swing para sa koponan ng Quezon. But Pagarando missing on the bonus.
So this remains a 9-point lead, single digits for Quezon. Pagaran will trigger it in from the sideline. Skip pass, papunta kay Joshua Yero. Lagrama will set the table para dito sa Quezon. Pagaran shoveled his feet before putting the ball on the deck. LJ Gonzalez returns. Also Vince Magbuhos. Labas muna si Pagaran and Simon Sandagon. JK Casino. Jason Strait also in. Started this ball game for Quezon City. Gabriel. Santos. Trying to put the moves on against Joshua Yero. Shot will not count. They will review it.
Yero's usually a very good defender. One of the best on ball during his time with the Adams Sorik Falcons in the UAAP. But that time had a difficult time in trying to keep it step with Santos.
Pasok. Counted. So, made field goal plus a free throw for Jerome Santos.
Pero magkamukha sila eh, no?
Ikaw naman, makakalusot na dapat eh.
Magkamukha sila. I think they must be related, no?
O hindi ibig sabihin, kapatid niya si Juday niyan. Di ba? Jeffrey.
Talaga ba?
We'll see. Tanong natin mamaya.
Kapatid ni Jeff Santos si Juday?
Oo!
Really?
I'm not kidding. Let's look at this play here. This was the end one play from Jerome Santos. Research mo mamaya, Habs. Ito, Tres, galing kay Vince Magbuhos.
Updated ka pala sa mga showbiz happenings, ha?
Ayan, mga napaghahalataan yung edad ko eh. Huwag na muna. Double-digit lead for Quezon, 30-20. Under 6 minutes remaining here in the second quarter.
Medyo nawawala yung teeth ng defense ngayon ng Quezon City here in the second quarter. They were really doing an incredible job in that first period. Pero ngayon, dahil pati yung opensa nila nawawala, medyo lumalayo na itong Quezon.
Gonzalez sa bandang kaliwa, laban kay Santos. Ball stolen away by JK Casino. Ibanez on the left side, binigay kay Casino. Tries to pivot down the lane, but looks like he dragged his pivot foot.
Yeah, those slight bumps, just getting him dislodged in the shaded area. Konting bunggo lang, enough for them to just get him out of balance without committing that foul. Instead, forcing that turnover on JK Casino.
Lagrama. Gabriel trying to switch on him. Sarao, pinilit yung pasa papunta kay Banal. Turnover. Casino serving the floor laban kay LJ Gonzalez. Santos.
But they gotta make shots here.
Jason Strait one-on-one against Sarao. Great defense by JP, but Santos escapes but can't finish. Ball will stay on the side of Quezon City, but only 5 seconds on their shot clock.
They're getting the breaks here, Ken, talking about Quezon City. And I'm sure this time out, Coach Jeff Burlas only has one goal for him to draw up a play that will ensure a conversion at the basket by Quezon City.
We'll pause for a break. Quezon ahead by 10.
Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Next 3 games po ng Quezon City. April 14, they will square off with the Buo Classic. April 24, laban sa Marikina Shoemasters. And then sa pagtatapos ng buwan ng Abril, kalaban nila ang Rizal Central Mall Golden Coolers.
This game, if they do well and even hack out a victory, definitely going to be a big confidence boost for that next 3-game stretch that they have. Di rin biro yung kanilang mga kalaban dyan. This is definitely a nice sign. Finally, a made shot for them and beyond the arc pa para dito sa Quezon City.
Jerome Santos cuts the lead down to 7. Gab Banal at the elbow. Joseph Gabayni bounces out. Bola natapik pero may foul din laban sa Quezon City.
Okay ka na sana dyan kung ikaw yung Quezon City. Nakuha ni Joseph Gabayni sa isa sa kanyang mga money spot, but let's take a look at the shot first.
3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
Nakuha na ni Joseph Gabayni sa elbow. That's a shot, a distance where he can hit a shot in. But Gabriel was able to challenge that shot, put a hand up to slightly try and bother that. Kaya lang di nila nakuha yung defensive rebound.
Vince Magbuhos at the line had a rare opportunity to be teammates with his childhood friend na si JC Cullar back when they were in Italy. Pasok yung dalawang free throws niya.
Parehong mga galing Italy nga pala itong dalawang to. Yes, so si JC Cullar sa Nueva Ecija.
Nag-reunite sila with the Rice Vanguards. Santos. Binigay muna kay Nino Ibanez. Uy, nakaagaw. Ito si LJ with a running start. As Santos to beat, swoops in and scores.
That's just a terrible pass made there by Quezon City. Could have been a good play already in the making. Kaya lang, nandun si LJ Gonzalez at konti lang ang nakakatakas na pasa kay LJ pag ganun.
Ibanez cuts, but was cut off too by LJ Gonzalez. Dangerous pass. Casino recovers against the Grama. Shot clock winding down. Nasupalpal si John Gabriel. Lagrama ends up with it. Tosses it up to Gab Banal. Entry pass papunta kay Joseph Gabayni. Nilabas papunta kay Topen Lagrama. Magbuhos. Libre para sa 3. Short. Gabriel.
Oh, that's a dangerous pass. Jake Casino knows better than to make that kind of delivery. Good thing they keep possession here.
They reset their offense. 12 seconds on their shot clock. Ibanez way off the mark on that 3.
Had a lot of lift on that shot, but I think the follow-through came in too late. Kumbaga parang nadiin masyado yung square dun.
Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme X-Pop, personal karaoke speaker, everyday karaoke.
One of the fastest guards that we have here in the league, LJ Gonzalez, is showing us why the Huskers really made a hot pursuit to acquire him.
Approaching the 3-minute mark of the period. Gabayni. Nilabas kay Gab Banal. Magbuhos. Back to Gab. Touch passing. But it leads to a turnover again. Greg Cunanan. Gabriel. Oh, great defense by Gabayni, just shutting the door on him, almost forcing a turnover. Jason Puray, pinilit yung pasa kay John Gabriel, but luckily for them, it will stay on their side.
Quezon City has to learn to look at some other options where the first option has already been shut down by the denial of the defense of the Quezon Huskers. They gotta be able to improvise.
Jason Straight, thinking free, shot clock winding down. Magbuhos all over him, straight fadeaway jumper. Off the glass and in.
It's a tough look. A fadeaway jumper off a spin move and you get it off the glass. Wow, even on a high looper like that. Wow, impressive make.
Sa kakaiba rin yung angulo eh. On that bank shot, meanwhile Gabriel gets pushed.
Unnecessary foul there given up by Joseph Gabayni.
Our play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Good D, just better O by Jason Straight.
34-25. Magpapahinga na dito si John Gabriel. In comes Sarah Joseph. Also Franz Diaz. Nasa loob na rin for Coach Jeff Perlas. Oh, great find. Sarah Joseph. Easy pickings underneath.
Very patient setup right there by Kunanan. Turning the corner, just waiting for the wheel by Sarah Joseph to roll.
Opiso gets it back to LJ Gonzalez. Under 2 minutes remaining here in the quarter. Gonzalez. Extra pass. Opiso for free. Gabayni grabs the offensive rebound. Opiso cuts. Draws closer. Goes right at his defender. And foul will be called against Quezon City.
Nadadali ang Quezon City dito ng mga long rebounds. Quezon's able to get to it first and generate another possession.
Our assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. With more game with 1xBet.
And the reason why the Huskers have been having an easier time trying to guard itong Quezon City is because a lot of their offense has come from dribble breakdown plays compared to the Huskers, who have really been moving the ball around against the zone.
Split at the line as we would like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Sarah Joseph ulit, pero napalakas yung kanyang tira doon.
I think he was anticipating a hit on that shot, kaya medyo inartehan niya masyado yung bitaw eh.
Gabanal. Skip pass, Alvin Abundo. No good on that free. Opiso able to save it. And great effort because Jason Straight thought he had the basketball but got caught stepping out of bounds. That's why you don't give up on that basketball.
Coach Jeff would have obliged, kaya lang wala ng timeout yung Quezon City. But itong Quezon Huskers meron pa, kaya sila ang tatawag ng ceasefire ngayon.
Under a minute remaining, Quezon ahead here, 35-27.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 50 si Manny. Kanipaya. Para sa 100% Pinas, 50 ka.
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Quezon, abante dito ng 8 puntos, 35-27, but they cough up the rock. Leads to this Kunanan who tried to finish, but no cigar there. Give and go, Jason Opiso.
I think that should count.
And Coach Jeff Perlas in disbelief at the sidelines.
O sayang kasi may bababa na sana nila sa 6. At then because of the miss, that enabled Quezon to go out in transition and take advantage of a one-on-one situation.
And referees will review this last play.
It should count.
Yeah.
Really?
Eto, tingnan natin. Ayan,
Jason Puray's first foul. Brian De La Rosa comes in for Jason.
Kumalaw yung ring eh.
obviously,
The board was hit.
yeah, the bench from the Huskers up in arms. Dahil sila rin, nakala nila, automatic basket yun. But Opiso, nonetheless, makes good on both free throws. Balik sa 10 ang lamang ng Quezon. 42 seconds remaining here. Greg Cunanan. Off that staggered screen. Napunta kay Jeff Havillonar. Franz Diaz. Yet to score in the quarter. Saka Joseph nilabas. 5 seconds on their shot clock. Working against JP Sarao. Fades away. That shot was about to hit nowhere there, Javi.
Yeah, he should have given it up early there. Wasn't really any room for him to operate, and he's not a load shot maker, especially when the clock's winding down.
Last shot time para dito sa Quezon Huskers. Lead by 10. Fuentes. Give and go with Opiso. Fuentes for 3. Bounces out. Franz Diaz heave. And the first half is complete. Franz Diaz had all 8 of his points in the first quarter. But the Quezon City Galleries Taipan having trouble dealing with the firepower of the Quezon Huskers in the second quarter. So Coach Jeff has a tall order on his hands at the half. Quezon ahead by 10, 37-27.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Para sa atlitang Pilipino.
Para sa kabataang Pilipino.
Para sa kababaihan, para sa pamilyang Pilipino.
Para sa kinabukasan. At ito po ang MPBL Party List number 77 sa balota.
Live at the Pasay Astrodome, you're still watching Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. We're now in the halftime of our first game between the Quezon Huskers and Quezon City Galleries Taipan. I'm Laria Punsalan and our halftime score is 27-37 in favor of Quezon Huskers. Kasama po namin ngayon ang team manager ng Quezon City Galleries Taipan, Sir JC Tan. Sir, good afternoon. Ano yung mga naging paghahanda nyo in facing Quezon Huskers today?
Good afternoon. Yes, unang-una yung may mga players kami na wala because of injuries. So yung adjustment sa roster, kailangan mag-step up yung mga ibang players. Tapos defense, of course. And lastly, yung important, yung rebounding namin. based sa past game, yun yung finokus namin before this Quezon game.
Ano po sa tingin niyo yung mga key areas of adjustment pa for the second half?
For the?
For the second half.
Sa ngayon, doing good naman, okay naman yung defense, pero yung stamina nila, i-control nila. Tapos yung facing, masyadong mabilis yung Quezon eh. Dapat i-control nila yung facing.
Any greetings po?
Of course, yung mga suppliers namin. Una, Galleries Tower, Grand Taipan, JNT Plastics, nila Uncle Joel. Tapos, Quezon City Todo Action Party List. Tsaka sa mga nanonood na mga taga-QC, thank you sa suporta nyo.
Thank you so much, Sir JC Tan, the team manager of Quezon City Galleries Taipan. Magbabalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
Siguradong patas. Lagi mong inuuna kung anong dapat. Hindi mo kayang malunok ang katotohanang marami pa rin tayong kababayang gutom at walang tahanan. Kaya hindi ka tumigil sa paglaban. Harapin ang kahirapan. Tulungan ang nangangailangan. Basagin ang korupsyon na kanilang nakasanayan. Sa loob at labas, man ng Pinas, bakas na bakas ang iyong tapang puksain ang mga problema ng bansa. Gamit ang lakas, gamit ang isip, gamit ang puso. Kung para sa mamamayang Pilipino, si MP, wala yang sinisino. Manny Pacquiao.
para sa atlitang Pilipino.
Para sa kabataang Pilipino.
Para sa kababaihan, para sa pamilyang Pilipino.
Para sa kinabukasan. At ito po ang MPBL Party List number 77 sa balota.
Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MD! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Halftime score po natin, Quezon City 27 and the Quezon Huskers with 37 points. So they lead by 10 after 2 quarters here. And nakita natin the Quezon Huskers led for the majority of the first half and led by as many as 11 points. Itong Quezon City, medyo lumalapit to, but they had their chances, Javi, pero just couldn't get over the hump so far.
Yeah, it's making shots para dito sa Quezon City that's been a problem. And also the turnovers have also been crucial in them not getting back into the game. Although +2 ang Quezon City, ang Quezon rather, in that department, 11 points na ang naibigay ng Quezon. Sorry, 9 points na ang nabigay ng Quezon in that department, which led to the Huskers really pulling away. And also a lot of easy baskets have prevented the Quezon City Galleries Taipan from trimming down this deficit, which is supposed to be lower than what we're seeing right now if napigilan lang to ng kupunan ni Coach Jeff Perlas.
Franz Diaz had all 8 of his points in the first quarter. Jerome Santos with 7. Sa panig naman ng Quezon, Vince Magbuhos with 8 points. Christian Pagaran scoring 7 points, 5 apiece for Jason Opiso and Joseph Gabayni. So nobody from either squad scoring in double figures so far. And as a result, it's been a low scoring affair after 2 quarters.
I understand, Ken, that Quezon City, they're playing without a couple of rotation players in this game, so the others have really to double time and step up in this game to fill in for those shoes. RV Berjay, Gabe Capaso, Jordan Santa Ana is also one player that they've been missing tonight.
Quezon Huskers, rolls of 5 of LJ Gonzalez, Vince Magbuhos, Christian Pagaran, Al Francis Stamsi, and Simon Sandagon. Kapay naman ng Quezon City, Franz Diaz, Jason Strait, Nino Ibanez, Dave Bernabe, and Jerome Santos. Franz Diaz was hacked while putting the ball on the deck.
Well, the reason for that foul was because ang sikip na dinaan niya na dun. Strait was waiting for the ball on that right flank. Dapat bumaba na siya agad dun sa corner para medyo mas maluwag yung dadaanan ni Franz on that lane to the basket.
Diaz against LJ Gonzalez. Franz. Nilabas, papunta kay Jason Strait. Rebound by Christian Pagaran. Gonzalez puts the moves on. Gets it to Simon Sandagon. Floats one up, no good. Second serving is successful, plus a foul.
He's missed a bunch of shots near the basket, around the rim. This is a good way for him to redeem himself. Getting his own rebound, second serving, plus the foul. Kaya lang ang di magandang sinyalis dito is mukhang natapilok siya ng konti dito.
Yeah,
and I think he needs to be subbed out. He's being bothered by the pain that he is experiencing right now on, I think, his right foot.
Yeah. Possibly could have swelled up immediately. Kasi tinatry niya ipagpag eh. But as soon as he stepped onto that free throw circle, talagang wala na. Wala na siyang stability to take that free throw. So Opiso checks in, subs in for him, and cashes in that bonus free throw. This is the biggest lead for Quezon at 13 points, 40-27. Bernabe. And ball will stay on with Quezon City here.
You gotta give a lot of credit to the Huskers in today's game. They're just quicker to the basketball. And those long passes, those passes that stay a while in the air, almost always a steal para sa kanila.
Straight flashes out. Binigay kay Nino Ibanez. Laban kay Christian Pagaran. Franz Diaz.
Pangalawang beses na yan.
LJ got a piece of that one. Off to the races. Too strong on the layup though. Jerome Santos will slam on the bricks. Tamsi trying to pressure him. Santos gets bumped by Alfrancis Tamsi. Second foul on Al Tamsi. Ball will be triggered in by Franz Diaz, who's yet to score after quarter number 1. Ibanez so far has really struggled here. We haven't really felt his presence dito sa larong to as Franz Diaz has missed his last couple of shots from the outside.
Could have made an extra pass pa there to Jerome Santos. But the Huskers, well within the vicinity of that passing lane, that possible passing lane to Santos. That's why it forced ito si Franz Diaz to take the shot even if he wasn't in a very good angle because of the hand in front of him. He was forced to shoot it out of position.
Fourth foul against Dave Bernabe.
That's a big development considering how well Dave Bernabe has been holding his own. Kaya lang talaga, because siya lang talaga ang nakakapagpa-stop sa mga bigs ng kabilang koponan. There are sometimes that he's forced into giving up some fouls.
Pagaran mintis yung kanyang unang free throw. Played for Perpetual, Christian Pagaran. 8 points, 4 rebounds so far. Umangat sa 14 na puntos yung labang dito ng Quezon Huskers. Past the 8-minute mark of the third. Franz Diaz having trouble dealing with LJ Gonzalez.
It's been a long afternoon para kay Franz Diaz here in the Pasay Astrodome.
Meanwhile, maibalita muna tayo kay Lyra Punsalan.
We should be the aggressor. Yan ang words ni Coach Jeff of Quezon City Taipan, of Gallery Taipan earlier because he encouraged his players to initiate more now. At nagkaroon pa nga sila ng short heart-to-heart talk earlier to push them to be more aggressive in the court and to remember that they're doing this for their families. With him handling young or rookie players, as he mentioned, pinaalalahanan din niya nga sila na huwag matakot and to keep the fire back into handling that ball with the responsibility of getting offensive scores. Back to you guys.
And certainly, because the experience really kicking in for Quezon. You saw Franz Diaz, maganda yung simula niya, but has basically been shut down by the more experienced LJ Gonzalez. Magbuhos, open free.
Oh, he's missed his last 2 open shots.
Can't nail that one. Ball ends up with Nino Ibanez. Settling things down here, but they are behind by 12 points. More than 3 minutes gone by. Santos, that shot pops out.
Could have been a big shot para sa kanila.
Crossover, sidestep, Gonzalez, nilabas kay Tamsi for free. Bagsak si Opiso. And he was held on to by, I think Sarah Joseph is the guilty party there.
Yeah, correct. I believe that Quezon City is really putting in a lot of effort. I'm seeing it on the floor. It's just really the experience, Ken, that you mentioned that has really pushed the Huskers forward in this game, and which has kept Quezon City at bay. But despite this, ilan lang naman ang lamang dito ng Quezon. 11 lang naman ito. Sorry, 12 points para dito sa koponan ng Quezon Huskers. And this is very much manageable deficit that Quezon City can come back from.
Hunanan had his share of struggles in the first half. Turnover muli laban dito sa Quezon City. And the Huskers so far in the first half, Javi, have made them pay. Scoring a lot of turnover points. Opiso gets blocked and fouled at the same time.
I think Puray rolled his ankle as he was challenging that shot.
Puray called for a second foul. Yeah, he's on the sideline. Papaltan siya dito ni JK Casino.
Mukhang masakit yan. Pag ganyan yung reaksyon ng player, talagang medyo matinis yung nararamdaman niya na pain eh. I've been there. It's not very easy to deal with.
Now gingerly walking towards their bench. Jason Puray.
Sometimes hindi na talaga mababaliwala ng adrenaline yung naramdaman mo eh. If you rolled it real bad, it's really gonna hurt the same way. Kasi meron minsan may mga injuries na hindi mo mararamdaman agad dahil nga may adrenaline factor pa, pero minsan pag ganyan, pag talagang sobrang na-twist na,
instant pain eh.
But of course, that doesn't mean na right away malala na yung injury mo. That's always something that the doctors have to look at, especially after further tests.
Hoping for the best, of course, for Jason Puray. Jason Opiso has played for the Huskers for the past couple of seasons after having stints with Marikina, Caloocan, Pasay, and Batangas.
Well, that stint with Marikina really caught the eye of the Quezon Huskers, and they thought that he would really fit into the system. A guy who can hit it from mid-range, has that nice, intuitive instinct on defense as well, playing for Coach Elvis Tolentino back in Marikina.
This lead has ballooned now for the Huskers. Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme X Play on-the-go speaker. Take your music anywhere. And that poor pass leads to another basket para dito sa Quezon Huskers. At ngayon, abante na sila ng 16, 45-29. Check out our fan of the game here at the Pasay Astrodome, brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Teka, sino ba dyan? Si Christian Bunyag tsaka si Will Gozon ba o si Madam sa taas? Hindi siya ready, hindi siya nakatingin eh.
Special deal from OneXBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Medyo busy lang on a Tuesday afternoon. And we expect more people to come in later on as the Pasay Voyagers seek to defend their home floor for the third consecutive time. They will go up. As nakita natin, Jeff Avillonar handing it off to JK Casino. Hunanan, that was blocked by Joseph Cabaini, and shot clock will expire against the Quezon City Galleries Taipan.
They're staying disciplined. They're not jumping easily on fakes. And they're anticipating beautifully ang mga shot attempts itong Quezon City, talking about the Huskers.
Alvin Nabundo. Fuentes also in. Cabaini. Met by a double team. Cabaini puts it up anyway. Nakuha ni Jeff Avillonar yung bola. Casino. Whips a pass inside to Jeff Avillar. Laban kay Jason Opiso. Opiso bagsak ulit. Ooh! Doesn't get the bounce.
Oh, that's nice effort.
But it ends up with Fuentes. That's a good foul actually given up by JK Casino.
Villar could have went glass or maybe tried to inch it just a little bit closer, but got caught with the pressure of being left super wide open with the fear of his defender going back up and trying to block that shot.
Judel Fuentes at the free throw line. This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Pasok yung una para kay Judel. Coach Eric Gonzalez.
So if you're Quezon City, Ken, you wouldn't want to put Judel Fuentes at the line more frequently because he hasn't been scoring a lot this afternoon. But if he gets to the free throw line a lot, he develops a rhythm from there. Magiging tuloy-tuloy na yan. Alam mo na yan, one of the streakiest shooters here in the league.
Gabriel. Sablay yung kanyang dress. Fuentes turns on the Jets.
Ooh! I thought that was all ball.
Yeah. Sabi ng ating game official, tumama daw sa braso ni Fuentes. Si John Gabriel. Judel Fuentes. Really good free throw shooter for the Huskers. Perfect on the line so far. Pasok din yung pangalawa. And this lead has swelled up to 20. 49-29.
Even ito si Conanan, who was their top scorer in that game against the Ilagan Isabela Cowboys, has not really made the dent offensively yet sa laro na to. Only 3 points in this game.
Casino finally draws a foul.
So that's a good bait job by J.K. Casino, turning the corner on that left side, seeing that there was 2 guys on him. Had to adjust in mid-air, maybe slightly lean into the body of one of those guys to draw that foul.
Also a former CEU product, J.K. Casino. But the misses continue to pile up para dito sa Quezon City.
Yeah, their field goal shooting is down to just 26%. At the half, it was already as low as 32.3.
LGR is the official outfitter of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Abundo. Met by a double team here.
Nice pass.
Yep. Right into the hands of Joseph Gabayni.
The trap has been solid, but as soon as Quezon figures out that there's always a guy waiting around that dunker spot on that baseline, whether it's the left or right side, doon talaga nadadali ang Quezon City.
First assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Hindi sila nagkaintindihan doon. Again, it's a communication on these kinds of defenses. Dahil hindi rin naman yan magiging as effective if you don't know how to tell your teammate that there's a guy already wide open, or kung may bukas na area dun sa floor na walang bantay. You gotta be able to be loud and just talk to everybody on that side of the floor.
Kunanan, pasok yung kanyang unang free throw. Gets the bounce and the roll on the second one. Quezon City, though, only scoring 5 points so far in the third. And we're approaching the 3.5 mark of the period. Libreng-libre si Joseph Gabayni.
Gabriel has to do a better job. For me, trabaho niya na yun eh.
Kunanan. Avillar, quick free, top of the key. Missing everything on that shot. Lagrama nagtitimon para sa Quezon. Oh, losing momentarily to si Greg Cunanan. But Cunanan recovers. Gets the steal. Escapes. Ito si Topeng Lagrama. But can't finish.
That's the second time in this game that he's missed a
Yep.
layup in transition.
Masakit pa dyan. Mga pampahabol pa sana, no?
Mismo. And almost already into the basket. Ikot yung mga tira na yun.
Miss from Hierro. Running start by Casino. Gets clipped in the arm. Lucky break because, again, the Huskers almost got a steal. Bagsak si JK. As we check out our play of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Ever since na umupo si Dave Bernabe, medyo pumapiesta na sa loob itong si Joseph Gabayni. And he hasn't really met a lot of resistance from guys like John Gabriel and ito si Sarah Joseph.
Casino at the line. Pasok yung kanyang una. Coach Jeff Perla still searching for answers here. 1-3 in their last 4 games. Itong Quezon City Galleries Taipan. After winning their opener against the Bulacan Cuyas. 53-34. Quezon abante ng 19 puntos. Gab Banal receives the pass from Lagrama. Hierro comes away with it. Sarao gets it to Pagaran. Great ball reversal, but Banal could not nail that three-point shot. Gabriel. Sarao able to shut him down, and Cunanan and Pavillonar not on the same page.
Almost pristine execution there para sa Quezon City. Just the pass to Villar, that post entry. Could have been an easy 2 points on the left side para kay Chef Villar.
Hierro almost able to cut back door. So turnover against the Huskers. Nag-stall na yung offense dito ng Quezon City.
Yes. It's because Quezon has been playing such incredible defense, really denying every option, which makes it hard always for the guy with the basketball to decide what to do. But this time they are able to set up Ray De La Rosa easily off the screen on the baseline. A little backpick action on the exchange.
Yung isa sa mga kailangan gumana, no, para sa Quezon City. Ray De La Rosa, known as a gunner for Jose Rizal University, has yet to find the range this season. Meanwhile, Pagaran gets the friendly bounce off that pull-up jumper.
It's a demoralizing seeing shots like that go in when you're trying to catch up on a lead as big as this if you're Quezon City. But you shouldn't stop here. There's still a lot of time. You still have a full 10 minutes to play after this quarter.
Casino, offensive foul against Greg Cunanan.
And that was on the handoff. Pity because it looked like momentum was slowly gaining para dito sa Quezon City.
Franz Diaz returns for Greg Cunanan. A minute and 4 seconds remaining in the period. 18-point lead for the South Division champions last season. Gonzalez. Ball swatted away by Gabriel. Gonzalez recovers, puts up a three, and nails that one.
Painful para sa Quezon City. Gabriel able to block the shot of LJ, that scoop with the left hand, but he gets another possession and makes a three.
Pocket pass, Javillonar traveled.
Everything just going wrong para dito sa Quezon City at this point. I was optimistic that they were going to get a strong finish to this third quarter, but that doesn't happen. Quezon just not allowing it.
21 na ang kalamangan dito ng Quezon. About a 9-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Pagaran, leaner, does not work. De La Rosa comes away with it. Franz Diaz puts up a free, left it short.
That's a terrible shot even for him. Even if he was wide open, there was a chance for them to take the final shot already because the shot clock was already off. Instead, they give this opportunity to Quezon.
Lagrama tries to make them pay. Gabriel the rebound. And third quarter comes to an end. And the #1 defensive team in the league, the Quezon Huskers, hold Quezon City to 10 points in the quarter. The highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
Quezon City, this was only their second field goal of the third quarter. They were a combined 2 out of 13 in that third period. Samantalang itong Quezon, talaga nakakuha sila ng maraming easy baskets because of those breakdown in terms of the defense by Quezon City. Gabayni got a couple of easy ones because of those miscommunications defensively by Quezon City.
We head into the fourth. Quezon Huskers ahead 58-37.
Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas, 50 ka.
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Fourth quarter underway between Quezon City and Quezon. And the Huskers pretty determined to bounce back from that tough loss they had against Pasay. Their very first this season. Quarter scoring natin, nakikita nyo, no? Pababa ng pababa yung production ng Quezon City as a result of that stingy defense by the Huskers.
Quezon City was 10 out of 31 in the first half. They were only 2 out of 13 in the third quarter. The whole of the third quarter, from 32.3%, their field goal shooting has gone down to just 26% overall here as we enter the final frame. JP Sarao making an easy basket there. Another great find, this time from Topping Lagramba para dito sa Quezon. And the Huskers just making sure that history won't repeat itself this afternoon by losing 2 straight, just like they did last year. When they lost to Pasay, they lost to Mindoro in the next game. But right now, all things looking very positive for the Huskers. Both sides of the floor, they've been excellent. Defensively, they've shut down this offense of Quezon City. Offensively, they've been able to make the right decision and find the open man.
Just keeping the ball in front are the Huskers. Jason Strait forced to take that shot but makes it anyway. Much needed basket for Quezon City.
But at least one of the things that you can draw from this game positively is you're really seeing that Jason Strait is coming to his own here with Quezon City. You're seeing the improvement on the shot making, the increase in confidence because of the added responsibility. And if you're Coach Jeff Perlas, you love that he's embracing his role here with his new squad.
Dave Bernabin nursing 4 fouls. We'll check in for John Gabriel. Dexter, great move off the game, born for greatness.
Parang nagsiskills training lang. Ginawang coach yung mga kabantayan niya eh.
LJ Gonzalez. We have Gab Banal with a free to open up the scoring for the Huskers earlier. Now tasked to guard Jason Strait. Defending him straight up on that one.
So ngayon, yung mga galaw na yan. It was a nice move, but Gabanal was able to do a good job of stopping the shot attempt, making it hard for him. Straight should have made the pass instead of going for the shot.
62-39. Franz Diaz. Bernabe offering that screen. Ball will stay with Quezon City with 10 on their shot clock. The growing pains of a young team under Coach Jeff Perlas. Nino Ibanez, basically non-existent in this game. Swing pass. Jerome Santos, his second triple of the ball game.
If they can start hitting, again, missed defensive coverage.
And that's got to give headaches to Coach Jeff Perlas as he calls for a ceasefire here. Patuloy ang pamamayagpag nitong Quezon Huskers dito. So Gabanal, nobody on him on that shot. And as a result, the Huskers ahead by 22, 64-42.
Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas, 50 ka.
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Gixer fan of the game, born for greatness. Watching inside the Pasay Astrodome. It's our third time here this season. 2-0 po ang Pasay Voyagers sa kanilang home floor. Kakalaban nila mamaya ang Sarangani Gripper in our main game. Before that, Manila and Zamboanga will lock horns. Nino Ibanez. This is a big free to get things going, hopefully, for Nino Ibanez.
Oh, now they cut it down to 19 points. Still very much possible with the time remaining, but they need to string together a number of stops, talking about the white shirts.
Sa loob sila pupunta, si Magbuhos. Nakabingwit ng foul laban kay Franz Diaz.
That's just really tough. Vince Magbuhos, known for his outside shooting, but he's very good in locking up his defender, especially if it's a mismatch on that low block.
Tamsi, quick catch and shoot. Off the rim. Abundo dumps it inside. JP Sarao swoops in and scores.
Tough finish over the outstretched arms of the much longer Jason Strait. JP Sarao, not the most athletic, not the tallest, but certainly one of the most clever finishers around the rim here in the MPBL.
Franz Diaz fouled by a fellow CU Scorpion alumnus. You see JP Sarao score another basket.
Nice find as well, galing kay Abundo.
Franz Diaz played for his hometown, Iloilo, last season. But prior to that, had a stint, a brief one, with Makati under Coach Don Dulay.
Correct, yes.
Won 2 championships for Centro Escolar University. One under Coach Jeff, the other with Coach Jico Manabat. Although Coach Jeff was the head of operations for CU during that time when Coach Chico was the coach. Nino Ibanez! Counted plus a foul. Nino Ibanez, 5 points in this quarter.
Only 2 points in the first half, though he was scoreless in the first 2 quarters.
Our play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Ibanez had the 3-pointer in the third quarter, but now he's on a 5-0 blast himself. And this is a good time for Quezon City to make this run. Hopefully, it will be enough to mount a comeback.
Baba sa 16 na puntos yung lamang dito ng Quezon Huskers. Outlet pass to Judel Fuentes. Skips it to Al Tamsi. Abundo, entry pass papunta kay JP Sarao, was poked loose by Jerome Santos. And we see here Franz Diaz kiss it off the glass. Lead down to 14.
Ooh, I don't know about that call though.
Pangatlo na laban kay Jerome Santos.
I'm not a fan of that call at all. I think that was marginal contact. Should not have been whistled the foul.
Instead, ball goes back to the Huskers. Tamsi. Fuentes on the right side against Jerome Santos. Fuentes one-on-one. Steps back.
Nice D.
Abundo putting the ball on the deck. Oh, picture perfect shot from Alvin Abundo over Franz Diaz.
Different generations. Great Scorpion point guards going at it, but that time the more senior Abundo getting the number of the younger Franz Diaz.
Diaz wants to get it back. He does. Bank shot good. Abundo. Libre si Tamsi. 3-point shot. Too strong. Battle for the ball. It ends up with Abundo. Gets fouled hard by Nino Ibanez.
Well, I like the fight I'm seeing from Quezon City right now. Hindi sila basta-basta tutupi dito. They're not going down without a fight. They try to chip away at this lead, but I also am very impressed with what I'm seeing from Alvin Abundo. When the going is getting tough para dito sa Quezon Huskers, their veteran point guard stepping up here to the occasion.
Alvin Abundo at the line. Jason Opiso returns. Alvin Abundo had a stint as a coach with John Wilson in the junior MPBL. Makes good on the first free throw. Coach Eric Gonzalez at the helm for the second consecutive season for, actually third consecutive season for Quezon. Abundo, pasok, pareho free throw. Lalabas muna siya, papalitan siya dito ni LJ Gonzalez. (70-54), 16-point lead para dito sa Quezon. Unanan. Jason Strait. Ilabas kay Nino Ibanez. Against Topeng Lagrama. Crossover. Gets to the paint. But losing it. Opiso. Lays it up and in.
That was a nice tap coming from LJ Gonzalez. Stunting on the drive by Nino Ibanez, aiding itong si Topeng Lagrama.
Ibanez gets it down low to Jason Strait, backing out his defender. Ibanez, pull up, gets it in.
He's feeling it right now here in this quarter. Di pa ito tapos.
Yep, all 8 of his points coming in the fourth period. Gonzalez, the miss. 16-point lead, past the halfway point of the fourth. Ibanez. Oh, freeing up. Greg Cunanan hitting the free.
13 na lang to, Ken.
Pwede pa. Lagrama gets it to LJ Gonzalez. 12 on their shot clock. Gabayni and Dave Bernabe.
Oh, that's gonna be it.
Double
it looks
foul.
like that's a double foul, yes. And that's gonna be tough for Quezon City because they're gonna be left without their best big man, at least defensively.
That was the 3-point conversion earlier by Greg Cunanan. You mentioned how Dave Bernabe was arguably their best big. And now he will head to the bench. That's going to be it for him. 5 fouls. Dave Bernabe will finish with 4 rebounds. Scoreless outing in 13 minutes. Fuentes, shot fake, takes it, makes it from beyond the arc.
Shot clock winding down, you give it to your best shot maker. Judel Fuentes is obviously that guy para sa Quezon. Knocking it down, sidestep 3 para sa Quezon.
Ibanez, his 10th point all here in the 4th quarter. Actually, he has 12. But majority of those coming here in the 4th. Lagrama. Entry pass, foul against Nino Ibanez.
Yeah, that's not gonna count. Should not count.
Medyo obvious naman yun, no?
Yeah.
Not sure what.
Pero syempre, ang mga players ng Quezon, they feel that, you know, Quezon City is giving them a lot of fight here in this game. And that shot by Gabayni, if that counted, syempre, mas mababawasan yung takot nila na matatalo pa sila dito.
Gabayni, pasok yung kanyang unang free throw. 10 points, 5 rebounds, make that 11 markers. 3 out of 3 from the free throw line. Rai De La Rosa checks in, providing some spacing here for Quezon City.
Before I get misinterpreted, I just want to clarify that that fear I'm saying is out of the respect for Quezon para dito sa Quezon City. Alam nila yung kakayahan itong mga players na to, and they know that there are no pushovers. Lumalaban talaga sila dito. They're really trying their best to keep it step.
Punanan had nowhere to go on that one. Lagrama facing a double team. Release pass to Opiso. Cross court to Judel Fuentes. Laban kay Rai De La Rosa. 10 seconds on their shot clock. Judel switch on to Chester Serra Joseph. Trying to keep in step with Fuentes. Shot on its way, no good. Punanan grabs it. Quezon City has to make their push. De La Rosa, quick catch and shoot, no good. Gonzalez will burn some time here for the Huskers. And lahat naman nung laro nitong Quezon City have been competitive. The wins, the losses. And that's why, if you're the Huskers, talaga pinaghandaan din nila itong larong ito against them.
I'm sure, yeah. At alam ko naman na kahit si Coach Eric, alam niya rin ang naging karera nito ni Coach Jeff Perlas. And Coach Jeff, proven winner in multiple levels.
Yeah, and it's clear, especially the 3rd quarter, they held them to 10 points. Basically shutting down their initial actions on offense. Kumbaga nung quarter na yun, Javi, as we head into the final 2 minutes, nakita mo walang shot creation on the side of Quezon City.
Yeah.
Wala silang halos na generate na puntos. But here in the 4th quarter, De La Rosa, that's a free. Cuts it down to 13, still a manageable margin.
In my opinion, I think this Quezon City team is about maybe 3, 4, maybe veteran players here in the MPBL away from being a very competitive squad dito sa ating liga. Obviously, one of those players have to be another bona fide scorer. Dahil kulang nga sila dito niyan, even though if you have Nino Ibanez, I think I need another explosive guy who can really rack up the points. And also, a threat inside the paint.
Yeah. Actually, wala nga silang go-to scorer, no? When you look at it, Nino Ibanez is their high point man on average. 10.6 points. And curiously, with Nino Ibanez, although he has exploded here in the 4th quarter, his first 2 games were really impressive. He averaged 20.5 points. Pero pagdating nung last 3 games, only 4 points per contest on 25% shooting. So, kumbaga na-scout na rin siya ng mga opponents nitong Quezon City. So, who will be the guys who could step up
Hindi na naman siya bago player dito sa ating liga. I'm sure everybody knows the capabilities of a guy like Nino Ibanez.
Yeah, but timeout on the floor. 75 seconds to go. Quezon ahead 77-64.
Para sa atlitang Pilipino.
Para sa kabataang Pilipino.
Para sa kababaihan, para sa pamilyang Pilipino.
Para sa kinabukasan. At ito po ang MPBL Party List number 77 sa balota.
Sir Joe Ramos, Commissioner Kenneth Doremdes, Rudy Distrito, and Head of Operations Emer Oreta on the front row here at the Pasay Astrodome. Pangatlong pagkakataon natin po dito maglaro sa ating pangpitong season ng Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Quezon City trying to ignite some life into this rally. De La Rosa, this is coming off a timeout, way off the mark on that shot.
I'm looking at the schedule of Quezon City right now, and all of their losses have been by just 8 points or less.
Yeah. Quezon turns the ball over.
And this is considering the strength of the teams that they have faced. Valenzuela, Imus has been pretty good this season. Ilagan for sure. At itong Quezon Huskers, siyempre, hindi mo naman matatawaran ng talentong meron ng kupunan na to. Of course, the reigning Southern Division champions.
Which in my opinion look close to invincible in their first 3 games, Habi. Especially their matches against Batangas City in the opener. Won on their home floor by 22 points. Then, nung first home game nila against Binyan, they really handled their business there. Then, I don't know if you remember nung na-cover natin yung laro nila in Caloocan against Marikina. Although they won that game, medyo may slippage kahit papano, no, you would say. And then, nangyari na nga, no, against the Pasay Voyagers. But here, recovering well against a very game Quezon City squad, as we see here. Michael Alvarez come in and score.
Well, last year, they had that tendency. Kaya, alam ko, nasa utak na naman yun ni Coach Eric Gonzalez na gusto na sana pigilan yung mga ganong klaseng instances this year. But, again, I've been saying this countless times, it's just the start of the year. There's a lot of time to improve, even for a team like Quezon. So, I'm sure marami pa tayo makikita mga sorpresa, mga talong hindi natin inaasahan, mga panalong hindi natin inaasahan. Because every team right now really is showing a lot of that competitive fire that we as basketball fans are craving for.
But the important thing for them, they bounce back after their first defeat against Pasay, winning over Quezon City. Our best player of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
It was a total team effort para sa Quezon sa laro na to, but Christian Pagaran ended up as the high point man, and he was the one who actually set the tone para sa Huskers sa laro na to. Came in and started this game, made up for that faulty performance that he had against the Pasay Voyagers. He only played a minute and 47, did not even score sa laro na yun. Coach Eric Gonzalez giving him the opportunity this afternoon, and he did not betray his coach's trust.
Let's go to Lyra.
Kasama natin ngayon ang best player of the game, Christian Pagaran of Quezon Huskers. Christian, first of all, belated happy birthday, a well-deserved gift for yourself after that loss from Pasay Voyagers. Ano yung natutunan mo sa laban na yun na dinala mo ngayon against Quezon City?
Yung Pasay game kasi namin, tentative kasi kami sa offense namin. Tapos sa depensa kami nagkaka-problema, daming problema, miss ko. Tsaka yun.
Maganda yung rotation nyo ngayon. Ano yung, and hindi kayo pagod, ano yung binilin sa inyo ni Coach Eric kung bakit nakapag-perform kayo ng maayos ngayong araw?
Yun ang sabi ni Coach Eric, ano lang, next play mentality lang. Sabi niya, lahat naman tayo nagkakamali. Next play lang, next play. Laruin lang namin yung gusto namin laro.
Any greetings? Greetings.
Una-una sa lahat, nagpapasalamat ako sa Panginoon sa panalo na binigay na sa amin. Nagpapasalamat din ko sa pamilya ko na lagi nakasuporta. Tsaka, pinabati ko yung si Governor Helen Tan, Boss RD, Kong Mike, Doc Kim Tan, Mayor Ralph Lim, tsaka yung 4K Party List, tsaka yung Joe ang nakasuporta dyan. At tsaka sa mga coaches ka at sa mga teammates ko, tsaka kay Erich, na anak niya, Coach Ed.
Maraming salamat and once again, belated happy birthday, Christian Pagaran. Our best player of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Back to you, Ken and Happy.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Congratulations to the Quezon Huskers. Up next, Manila Batang Quiapo looking to snap their losing skid against the very game Zamboanga Sikat. So keep it here on the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.